Do you hear my snaps? I'm
Yeah.
proud of myself. Welcome back. I'm Rosalee, or Rose, from Ramble on Rose. That's kind of the channel name. That's my dad. He's pretty cool. He's a Carolina fan #1. Yeah. Anyway, what are we doing?
We're on chapter 4. The solid people are coming down from the mountain. The solid people full of light.
Cool. Now, I have an idea. Whenever we say heaven, hell, or divorce,
Okay.
we have to tell something embarrassing about ourselves or something that just random happened.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool.
Chapter
I keep
4.
hearing finger guns and snaps.
As the solid people came near, I noticed that they were moving with order and determination, as though each of them had marked his man in our shadowy company. There are going to be affecting scenes, I said to myself. Perhaps it would not be right to look on. And with that, I sidled away on some vague pretext of doing a little exploring. A grove of huge cedars to my right seemed attractive, and I entered it. Walking proved difficult. The grass, as hard as diamonds to my unsubstantial feet, made me feel as if I were walking on wrinkled rock, and I suffered pains like those of the Mermaid in Hans Andersen.
What was that?
I think the Little Mermaid story. Hans Christian Andersen.
Hold on, I'm Googling.
Yeah, I guess when she first walked on land, I guess they left that out of the Disney cartoon, but I guess it was hard for her to walk.
How do you spell hands?
Just Little Mermaid.
Andersen.
Yeah, Hans, H-A-N-S. A bird ran across in front of me, and I envied it. It belonged to that country and was as real as the grass. It could bend the stalks and splatter itself with dew. Almost at once, I was followed by what I called the big man. To speak more accurately, the big ghost. He, in turn, was followed by one of the bright people.
I found it.
The Little Mermaid?
Yeah. First it says over here that that the mermaid's tongue was cut out because that was for the fee right after she drank the potion. And then let's just...
So they didn't have that... Did they cut her tongue out in the Disney movie?
No.
How did they do it in the Disney movie?
Like this.
Like, oh, that's right. And her
was
voice floated out. Yeah.
No, but she jarred it. She was like...
Yeah, she put it in a jar.
And
yeah,
then she used it for herself. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's better than having your tongue cut out.
I personally, I didn't like the Disney movie. I like I like this one better.
Yeah, it's definitely more gory. So what about the feet?
Okay, every step she took was as the witch had said it would be. She felt as if treading upon the points of needles or sharp knives, but she bore it willingly, and she stepped as lightly as a princess. As lightly by the prince's side as a soap bubble. That's weird.
So he, in turn, was followed. I'm glad you checked that out, and we got the original Hans Christian Andersen version. He, in turn, was followed by one of...
I just have smart ideas.
Yeah. He, in turn, was followed by one of the bright people. "Don't you know me?" he shouted to the ghost. But it found it impossible, and I found it impossible for it not to turn around and attend. The face of the solid spirit, he was one of those that wore a robe, made me want to dance. It was so jocund, which means funny, or friendly, so established in its youthfulness. "Well, I'll be damned," said the ghost. This is the big man. "I wouldn't have believed it. It's a fair knockout."
By the way, can anyone see this little tiny cat who's just like sleeping right there? And appreciate my cat not hating me and jumping out of my arms.
It isn't right, Lynn, you know. Well, what about Jack, eh? You look pretty pleased with yourself, but what I say is, what about poor Jack?
What about poor Jack?
He is here, said the other.
Yay.
And you will meet him soon if you stay. But you murdered him. Of course I did. And it's all right now. All right, is it? All right for you, you mean. But what about the poor chap himself, laying cold and dead? But he isn't. I told you. You will meet him soon. He sent you his love. What I'd like to understand, said the ghost, is what you're here for. As pleased
the giant
as punch.
burly ghost man?
You look, no, he's more of an angelic person.
No, you're using the giant burly man.
Yeah,
voice.
this is, right, not ghost man, but burly man. Big man.
Big man.
Yeah. Pleased as punch, a bloody murderer, while you've been walking on the streets down there and living in a place like a pigsty all these years. That is a little hard to understand at first, but it is all over now. You will be pleased about it presently. Till then, there is no need to bother about it. No need to bother about it? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? No, not as you mean. I do not look at myself. I've given up myself. I had to, you know, after the murder. That was what it did for me, and that was how everything began. Personally, said the big ghost with an emphasis which contradicted the ordinary meaning of the word, personally, I have thought that I have ought to be the other way around. That's my personal opinion.
Wait, hold on. Say
personal opinion.
I'm mouthing everything and acting it out.
Very likely we soon shall
be.
Very likely we soon shall be, said the other.
No.
You'll stop thinking about it. This is the angelic person. He's very calm. Look at me now, said the ghost, slapping at his chest. But the slap made no noise, so it'd be like...
So, like... since he's a ghost,
I've gone straight all my life.
It was like...
I didn't say I was a religious man, and I didn't say I had no faults far from it. But I'd done my best all my life, see? I'd done my best to everyone, and that's the sort of chap I was. I never asked for anything that wasn't mine by rights. If I wanted to drink, I paid for it, and I took my wages, and I'd done my job, see?
There's free water!
What sort was I? Well, he means drink, like alcohol drink. What sort was I that don't care who knows it?
By the way, why is this part only red of my face?
I don't know. I'm closer and it looks fine, but it could be a lighting issue.
It might be just a lighting issue because we do have pink fairy lights up here.
Well, once we get the YouTube sponsorships and the monetization, we'll be able to afford proper lights. It would be much better. It would be much better not to go about that now.
Yay, 3 subscribers. Like 20 billion more to go.
Yes. What's going on? I'm not arguing. I'm just telling you the sort of chap I was. See, I'm asking for nothing but my rights.
You could kind of be a voice actor. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you. Well, I thought you were just saying I was boring, so I'm trying to ham it up a little bit. You may think you can put me down because you've dressed up like that, which you weren't when you worked under me. And I'm only a poor man, but I have my rights, same as you. See?
Are they talking about...
He sounds kind of crazy.
Are they talking about, like... I'm not trying to say the word. You know... up there. Like...
Yeah, they're talking about, where they end up. Right. And that's what he's learning. Is this guy apparently committed murder, and he's...
and he's not going to.
You're not tricking me.
Come on.
Fool me once, shame on you.
I have never fooled you.
Oh no, it's not so bad as that. I haven't got my rights, or I should not be here. you will not get yours either. You'll get something far better. Never fear. So you notice that was two things he said. First, earlier he said
And
that he gave himself
up. What
up.
does this have to do with boo? Duh.
Well, we'll get it. I mean, I can explain it, but first I'm just making note that a second ago he said that in going there and going to that place and becoming who he is now, he had to give himself up. And then that's what he also just told the man, is that because the man says he wants his rights, but he just told the man that he gave up his rights in being there. And he said, you'll get something far much better than rights. That's just what I say. I haven't gotten my rights. I've always done my best, and I've never done nothing wrong. And what I don't
Your
see
Southern's
is
coming
why
out.
I should be put below a bloody murderer like you. So he still keeps going back to what he did on earth. Who knows whether you will be? Only be happy and come with me. What do you keep on arguing for? I'm only telling you the sort of chap I am. I only want my rights. I'm not asking for anybody's bleeding charity. So you keep saying the same thing over and over again.
Charities.
Then do at once. Ask for the bleeding charity. Everything is here for the asking, and nothing can be bought.
So like heaven.
Yes. You just violated the rule.
No, I said heaven.
Okay.
So like heaven.
Alright.
So like heaven. Like that.
So he says nothing.
I'm supposed to get a pass because I'm trying to make a point, and it's stupid to do and then
That may be very well for you, I dare say. But if they choose to let in a bloody murderer, all because he makes a poor mouth at the last minute, that's their lookout. But even I don't see myself going into the same boat as you, see? Why should I? I don't want charity. I'm a decent man, and I had my rights, and I've been here long ago, and you can tell them I said so. The other shook his head. You can never do it like that, he said. Your feet will never grow hard enough to walk on our grass that way. You'll be tired out before we get to the mountains. And it isn't exactly true, you know. And mirth danced in his eyes as he said it. What isn't true? Said the ghost sulkily. You weren't a decent man, and you didn't do your best. None of us were, and none of us did. Lord bless you, it doesn't matter. There's no need to go into all of this now. You, gasped the ghost, you have the face to tell me I wasn't a decent chap?
I mean, why did you go in Middleland?
Of course. Must I go into all that? I will tell you one thing to begin with. Murdering old Jack wasn't the worst thing I did. That was the work of a moment when I was half mad when I did it. But I murdered you in my heart, deliberately, for years. I used to lie awake at night thinking of what I'd do to you if I ever got the chance. That is why I've been sent to you now, to ask your forgiveness and be your servant as long as you need one. And, yeah, it's a different way of thinking.
Do it!
And longer if it pleases you. I was the worst, but all the men who worked under you felt the same. You made it hard for us, you know, and you made it hard for your wife, too, and your children. You mind your own business. You mind your own business, young man, said the ghost. None of your lips, see, because I'm not taking any impudence from you about my private affairs.
Can we just appreciate this cat who's just being the best?
The cats are at the top of their game.
Yeah, they're not annoying today.
They've
both been real love bugs.
There are no private affairs, said the other. What do you think about that?
What does that mean?
Well, a private affair is like it's none of your business. Like
so
it's something in my life.
So what do you think about all this, Dad? What do you think about this?
Well, let's get to the end here.
No.
I mean, at the end of
Okay.
the spit, we're almost there.
Okay.
And I'll tell you another thing, said the ghost. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. And I'll tell you another thing, said the ghost. You can clear off, see? You're not wanted. I may be only...
Did it say a curse word, or was it just like...
No, it just said you can clear off. Yeah,
That's
that means clear off, like leave. That's what they said back before other terms were coined. Let's see. You're not wanted. I may only be a poor man, but I'm not making pals with a murderer, let alone taking lessons from him. Made it hard for you and your like, did I? And
personally, I'd probably forgive him.
And if I had you back here, I'd show you what work is. Come and show me now, said the other, laughing. It will be joy going to the mountains, but there would be plenty of work. You don't suppose I'd go with you? Don't refuse. You will never get there alone, and I'm the one who was sent to you.
Oh, I feel bad for this ghost.
So that's a trick, isn't it? Shouted the ghost, outwardly bitter. And yet I thought there was a kind of triumph in his voice. It had been entreated. It could make a refusal. And this seemed a kind of an advantage.
Why does it keep saying it?
I guess his voice. The voice. Oh, the ghost. Because he calls him a ghost. Because you're not a real person. They're all ghosts. That's why he keeps calling him a ghost instead of the big man anymore.
Because, well, don't they look like...
Well, that's what he said. They look like shadows in the light.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought there'd be some damn nonsense. It's all cliche. All a bloody cliche. You know what a cliche is?
Yeah.
It's like
Oh, of course, the man gets the girl at the end.
yes, good one. Right.
Of course, the happy Disney always ends with a happy ending.
Yeah.
Of course, the dog dies in the end.
Or the butler did it.
No.
The butler did it in the murder mystery. Or
No, that's not a cliche.
trust me, it is a cliche. Okay.
No, it's more like the protagonist did it. What?
No.
That's a cliche.
You haven't read. We will read if you would like. We can read a cliche mystery novel.
But
And
not all of them
I'm
are
guarantee you
cliche.
that the butler did it.
Not all murder mysteries are cliche.
All right. So
Okay,
anyway, he
ask
says
Mom.
it's all cliche. It's all bloody cliche. Tell them I'm not coming. See, I'd rather be damned than go along with you.
Then go back to the bus.
I came here to get my right. See, not to go sniveling along on charity upon your apron strings. If you're too fine to have me without you, I'll go home. I was almost happy. It called him in again. The ghost was almost happy now that it could, in a sense, threaten. That's what I'll do, it repeated. I'll go home.
So happy.
I didn't want to come here to be treated like a dog. I'll go home. That's what I'll do.
Oh shoot, I dropped the microphone. We're good.
Damn and blast the whole pack of you. In the end, still grumbling, but whimpering also as it picked its way over the sharp grasses, and it made off.
Made off with its way.
Yes, it made off on its way. That was the end of chapter 4. All right, so what you were asking? You were wanting to know about like literary references, or not religious references in this? Well, I mean, I think it's, if you think about it, it's significant, and it has to do with religion for people on Earth, but it's not something that can be forced on someone. It's a choice that they have to make in faith.
Hey, hope you enjoyed this video. It was a pleasure making it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.